Hi everybody, how are you guys doing today? As I promised in my videos yesterday that I am going to discuss more in detail about sonata form. But it's just a general talk about sonata form, not the analysis of it. Because I will have to use an example of one of, let me see what composers that it's easy to analyze. Mozart. One of Mozart's keyboard sonatas, early works, very easy to understand, just to justify the structures. So, if there's any noise in the background, just bear in mind I have a very noisy roommate. She loves her music. She loves to chat to her friends on her phone. And I respect her for that because she's an awesome person. Getting back to the topic. As I said, we're talking about sonata form today, and I'm sitting like a teacher for my desk. First is first. What is a sonata form? A sonata form. There's two errors normally students make about the sonata form or defining the sonata form. Number one, the sonata form is not a three-part work. A sonata form is a one movement work or one movement piece within a three-part work that has a structure of three movements, which I will discuss later on about the exposition, development, and the recapitulation. The sonata form is not a ternary form. Reason being is that the structure of a ternary form differs from a sonata form. A ternary form has A, B, A phrases. Sonata form doesn't. It has its own phrases and own means of motifs, own means of modulations within the phrases, which, like I said, is different from the ternary form. So the next pointer is, when did this whole thing of sonata form develop? It developed in the late 1700s when the classical era starts. And the composers that were very prevalent in the classical eras like Mozart, Haydn, C.P.E. Bach, J.C. Bach, maybe think of others. I know Domenico Scarlatti is more early classical era, and you can research the rest. Oh yeah, I forgot about Gluck as well. Then, why and how did it evolve? Remember something about the sonata form. It started off as a structure, but composers probably thought, okay, what instruments can we use it in? Yes, it's kroeskop day, and I know Clicks is having a ride with EFF. I don't care, so I'm impressing my kroeskop. Okay, how it evolved? It started off with a keyboard, then it evolved into ensemble works such as trios, quartets, symphonies, divertimentos, and in terms of stylistic features, it started evolving throughout the Romantic era as well as the modern era, 20th century. And I still compose in sonata form, but in a very, way. Rather not go there because my music analysis is quite strange. So that is the evolvement. Then the next pointer is the structure. What are the structures of a sonata form? You have your exposition, your development section, as well as your recapitulation. Now, the exposition, I'm referring to a source now as I'm reading from my laptop, is from Burkholder, a history of Western music that was published in 2014. Excuse me. An exposition is a first theme or group of themes in a tonic within like certain amount of phrases. Then from that exposition intro, then you have a transition which modulates to the dominant or to the relative major. And then after that transition phrase, then the second theme is introduced into a new key. And that closes off the exposition. And after the exposition, you have a development section. The development section is like a manipulation of themes from that's introduced into the exposition based on harmonic modulation, status of thematical themes. What else can we say? But before the closing of the development section, it normally modulates to the dominant chord of the introduction key of the music that is introducing the exposition. Then, once that dominant chord is there, then the recapitulation section starts. And that is the same material that's introduced into the exposition. The only difference is that the music doesn't transition or modulate to a different key. It stays within the tonic key until the end of the section or until the end of the movement. So that is a structure. Now the last point I'm going to discuss about who on earth came up with this nonsense. The person. And his name was Heinrich Christoph Koch. If you read more about his book or his essays known as Introductory Essays of Composition from 1782 to 1903, he normally discusses of phrases and periods and his view of the sonata form. He sees that it's an expanded version of a binary form. And if you read more about in the Burkhalter section of the sonata form, then you can get the understanding of his readings and his interpretation of the analysis of the sonata form. Okay, let me think. Not tomorrow, Thursday, I will work on a structure or analysis of one of Mozart's keyboard sonatas, and we will discuss further about how the exposition, the development section, and the recapitulation is analyzed within the work.